I know we have several people in the hot breath that are interested in getting into late night. And so I know that's been one of the big questions we do see a lot is how do I start that process of getting into late night writing?
Um, First of all, I think it's a daily thing, right? You find you get on, you look at your news app, or you get online, find your regular place you go for that news source, and you start to look at the headlines that kind of resonate with you, that trigger an emotion, and eventually you'll be able to identify some that will trigger an emotion with your audience. Like, I mentioned, like, if there's anything about Tom Brady, people love him or hate him, and there's going to be, if there's a story about Tom Brady, people will pay attention, and they'll now, if you can then write a joke about it, they'll be more involved than if it's just the general idea. Now, it's one thing to just have relatability or recognizability, or it's something that's familiar. It's another thing that have people that are fans, because when they're fans, that's a big emotion, which is why Trump is so often used in late night. We write what's in the news, and Trump, by design, makes sure he's in the news every single day. So who do you think we're going to be writing about? So when people get upset about you disrespecting the president, really, dude, I was on staff at Leno when they were making fun of Bill Clinton for like 12 years after Monica Lewinsky it happened, and it was still going on. So, and I wrote some of those jokes. So get over it. But I think the thing is like you got to start writing. The goal, most of these writers write 25 to 40 jokes a day, so that what that threshold that's expected of you. Then once you're good at it, there are ways to reach out that are kind of built around the system. One of the things I would suggest to people is do a YouTube. Build up your fans. My student Charlie Barron's, he has the Manitowoc Minute, and it's a niche character. He's from this Wisconsinite that don't you know, and he wears like a camo windbreaker, and he's up in a hat, and he does local and national news, but only for about a minute and 35 seconds. It's this little quick thing. He does some relatability to Wisconsin, some local stuff, some national stuff, quick jokes, nothing really too offensive. Just, always keeping his eyebrows up and, keeping it absurd as opposed to negative, instead of going like this and getting, judging people's ideals. So he went from, when I first found out he was doing this, it was last September, October, he had 77,000 subscribers at YouTube, and he was selling out rooms of fans doing one night. He sold out Flapper's main room 4:00 in the afternoon on a Saturday. Who sells out a comedy club 4:00 in the afternoon on a Saturday? Wow. Right? I was blown away. I went to go see it and then talked to him afterwards. He goes, I'm just doing what you told me to do. When I asked in class, how do we break through this? I said, get a niche character, develop a social media appeal, keep it short and tight, and then people will start to identify with the character. But he's got them reminiscing about where they used to live, all that stuff. They want to come back. Now he's at, I think, 150,000 subscribers.
That's great.
On YouTube in less than a year. And now he's doing some other things. He's selling product, he's selling merch, and people love this character. And his jokes aren't that great, but the character is great. And so we love the jokes through the character. The jokes themselves, mechanically, you go, but the character sells the jokes. So that's like a sitcom in a way. I have a feeling this guy's going to have either a special or a sitcom in the next 2 years, because that character's so likable. But if you're doing something, you're putting out really quality material every chance you get, 2 or 3 times a week, eventually somebody's going to take notice. If your numbers start and you stay consistent, your numbers really start to go up there. And, if he hits 500,000, if he hits 1 million, he's going to get a deal. Right. So that's one way. That's outside the system. The other way is when you're getting good and you see you're writing 20 to 40 jokes consistently, usually 25 to 40, and you're putting out good content. You're running by your friends. Your friends are saying, hey, man, that's some really good stuff. I would listen to you. But you got to make sure you're getting good advice. Then one of the things to do is to follow the credit crawl on what shows you're targeting. and maybe think about targeting 2 or 3, and follow the credit call. In the credit call, you're going to see a title called supervising writer. That supervising writer is usually the head writer. Then you'll find that you can look at the bottom of the credit crawl and say, oh, it's filmed over at CBS, or most of them are in New York. Call the production office of that show, and even if you just call the main lot and you say, I'm looking for Conan, or I'm looking for Kimmel, or I'm looking for, both these are in LA, I'm looking for Stephen Colbert's show, then they say, oh, put you right through, and all of a sudden you get this phone call, production. Then you just say the name of the person who is William Dadfrey. Hey, Bill Dadfrey. Yes, speaking. Hi, Jerry Corley. You never heard of me. But, I'm a writer, and could you take a moment and share with me what specifically you look for in a submission package? And then they're like, if I'm a writer and somebody called me, I go, dude's doing what he's supposed to be doing. That's cool. Kudos to him. And I would take a moment, but if I was in a super hurry, I'd say, hey, can we do this another time? I'm slammed. And I'd call back 30 times till he picked up the phone again. But it's polite persistence. Never take no as a no, never take a hang up as anything but, hey, we're busy. If you stay persistent, you will get better and you'll break down that door. There were 8 people that quit. There were 8 jobs that became available in late night TV just during this last 6 months. That's a huge number. People deciding, you know what, they're now good time to retire or retire early or move on or do whatever their motivation. Anytime something happens like that, that's opportunity, right? So if you stay persistent and you keep writing as if you have a job. Your job is to get the job. Your job is to have material ready for the pitch that's not even happening right now, but it'll be that opportunity where somebody says, hey, send me a packet, or I would just send in packets randomly and find some creative way of doing it, so it takes note. This guy's, like, for example, if I was bugging the head writer and I already got a packet written, all I have to do now is tweak it to what specifics they gave me. And it's just a little tweak. And they say, yeah, well, I look for this, and this. And if it was in LA, I would get on my Word and tweak it, then print it out, put it in an envelope, call the messenger, have the messenger deliver it right over to the production office that day. Like 3 hours later, he gets a packet from me. He'll go, holy shit, who is this dude? That's impressive. So that's another way. Now, not everybody has that opportunity. You can overnight it or something, do something different, but you got to stay consistent. That's it's a challenging level to be. You're working with a lot of guys who are good at this, or a lot of guys and gals who are good at this, but they're always looking for new talent. If I'm a head writer, my job is to make sure my host has the best material, make sure I've got the staff with the most creative writers that come up with good content. If they're not producing, I give them a little kick in the butt. If they don't work, if they are still not producing like I need them to produce, then they're probably going to be let go. And then, so I'm always looking for somebody good. If you're consistently sending a material, this guy's got great shit and he writes so prolifically, and he's always got some stuff coming in. That opportunity may arise. And you also find different ways to get their attention. One of my students, she goes to the seminars at the Television Academy of Arts and Sciences. They have these seminars and often have, like, Conan will speak or Colbert will speak, and she'll go to them. And she's in a wheelchair. She just rolls right up there and says, hi, and introduces herself, gets a picture with them, tries to give them a tape, and talks to them about how you get on the show as a comedian. She's breaking the rules, man, and meeting people and handing them packets. So it's just a matter of find out where they're making personal appearances. Mm-hmm. I had my friend Lou Majelowitz from Vegas, a comedian. He was in one of my workshops. He goes, how do I do that? I go, you got Leno shows right up here at Caesars every Friday night. So why don't you go down there, have a packet ready with a bunch of monologue jokes, and go to the stage, find out where the stage door is, go to the stage manager and see if he can deliver it to Leno. And waiting out in front of the stage door was Bobby Slayton. He sees this packet, this comedian-looking dude walking up with a packet. He goes, "You got a packet of jokes for Jay, don't you?" And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "I'm on his plane with him. I'll hand them to him personally." And he did. And 2 months later, Lou gets a call from Leno, and then he said, "What do you want? Do you want to be a comic? Or do you want to be a writer?" He goes, "I want to be a comic." "Well, I can't use you then." I said, "Dude, you want the job, right?" You said, "I want to be like you, Jay. I want to do both." And then you say to him, "I'm not getting off this." If you're on the phone with a decision maker, you say, "My job right now is not to get off this phone until I have a job writing for you, right? That's the purpose right now." And so they'll laugh at that because nobody asks for the job. Yeah. They expect somebody to just hand it to them.
If you're serious about becoming a comedian, join our Facebook group linked in the description below to start getting tips like these every single day, and watch this playlist of our top writing tips to improve your writing today.